The New South Wales Premier said he'd received a briefing from the Secretary of his department in relation to parts of a draft report commissioned by the Premier on the Barilaro matter. The Premier argued that the parts he had seen, quote, raise a question. Now, this is extraordinary. Note paragraph 3. I've just shoved that up. We'll leave it on the screen. Note paragraph 3. Raise a question as to whether Mr Ayres has complied with the New South Wales Ministerial Code of Conduct, unquote. But at no point has the Premier explained wherein lies the breach. There it is up there. It's an extraordinary media statement. In paragraph 3 of the Premier's statement, we're told that Ayres is gone because parts of the draft, quote, raise a question as to whether Mr Ayres has complied with the New South Wales Ministerial Code of Conduct. Raises a question. To be fair to Mr Ayres, shouldn't we answer the question before seeking his resignation? But then have a look at the final paragraph, which says, quote, a further review will therefore be undertaken to determine if Mr Ayres has complied with the code, unquote. Now, hang on. This bloke has lost his job, his deputy leadership, his ministerial role in critical portfolios because of a question over an unspecified breach of the Ministerial Code of Conduct, yet there'll be a review as to whether he actually complied with the code. I understand from insiders that the code in question is Section 5, relating to directions to a public servant. I can assure you that has not been breached by Ayres. Indeed, today, in this long-running saga, the Investment New South Wales boss, Amy Brown, gave evidence to the upper house that she was the decision maker in relation to Barilaro, that she was the employer, that she signed the contract, and that any discussion with Minister Ayres about the role, according to Amy Brown, was, quote, initiated by me. And in relation to the award-winning global executive Kimberly Cole, who lost out on the role, Amy Brown said today she didn't think Cole was, quote, quite right for the role. Stuart Ayres has always insisted the final decision belonged to Amy Brown, the public sector head of Investment New South Wales. I'll tell you something. This is a consequence of government being run by very inexperienced people who frighten at the first sound of grape shot and are terrified by some media headlines. You've heard my views previously about Stuart Ayres. In various roles I've had to work with him, external to the government, of course. He is one of the most capable people in politics, federal or state, that I have met. And I've always found him to be scrupulously honest and fastidious about detail. So who knows where this now will end.